Hi moms! How are you today? My name is Jasmine and I'm a homeschooling mom to a preschooler and a first grader, and although my son is in a traditional online distance learning school now, he's about to graduate high school and 3 other stepchildren. For some of you, you might know that I came out with the Kasaysayan Ko study guide. So supposedly we're going through those books, the History of the Philippines by Barrows and Agoncillo's History of the Filipino People. So I read them to my kids. They're in English, so that's very ano ba? That's very easy for me to teach, but not necessarily easy for the kids to digest. And then I felt that there was no context to it for younger children. I also read to them living books, so these are the ones that were assigned by our homeschool provider. So some of them are in English, some of them are in Filipino, so sometimes I would need to read the English translation again after reading the Filipino. So that has been nice for us. But then I felt that I needed help to, yun nga, parang prepare my kids just in case we were still going to go back to traditional schooling at some point. But I think for the foreseeable future, we're homeschooling them. And I felt that there was benefit into looking into the Filipino or social studies textbooks that are available or usually shown or given to students in Filipino schools. So I felt that I wanted to do a flip through of them so that in case you would like to consider them in your school, you might be able to. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with the Ang Bagong Filipino books. So these are written in Filipino. I got the N to N, K, and 1 kasi nga there are 100 something lang. And yun nga, I thought that this would be for Paco, the N, and then for Ru would be the 1. But when I looked at the one for grade 1, it was a bit too difficult and still too much writing involved. You know, there's too much writing involved and I wasn't ready yet to like make Ru write so much. Ayun. So I backtracked and then looked at the K. Same. I felt that there were concepts here that Ru wasn't ready for yet, even if we've already actually gone through the entire four decks of the Buksan PH flashcards, and she's already finished doing all the 4 workbooks because these were like just words and sentences. Sino siya? Ang aking tatay, magkakaklase. Basically, Ru has a very top-line grasp of the Filipino language. So this one is a new printout for Paco. So that's another story to tell on another day. But there, so we're done with bookstand.ph. So I am starting a Ru again with N here in Ang Bagong Filipino. So it's written in Tagalog. And then it links shapes, animals, letters, handwriting. So it's very, very easy, very, very textbook style. So I just really want to show her these first because we already struggled with the mere identifying animals in Tagalog. Like, she would confuse baboy, baka, and bibe. Nakakalito naman kasi talaga, di ba? So I just wanted to go through this in a loop. Nothing scheduled, no pressure whatsoever. So if you're considering this, so they're very textbook style, very ano ba? Ano ang nasa harap ng cabinet? So I think for a parent, if you're having a hard time teaching Tagalog to your children, this would be a good exercise for you once a week, twice a week. Okay. Moving on. This is something that I'm really liking. So this is from Ibon Books. This isn't very pricey also. 200 or 300 something. Depends on the seller. I saw this on Shopee. And then it really smells like textbook. So, as in, I like it. I like it very much because at least my daughter has that feel that she has a textbook because she hasn't had textbooks yeah, I think ever. So what I like about this is that this is in English, identity, and then the second one is observation, the third one is integration, and so on and so forth. And then they also have this in Tagalog. So I don't know, if you really want to teach it in Filipino, then you have that option. But if it's easier for you to teach it in English, I got the English one. So this one, actually, I ended up not having to teach this. My 6-year-old has started to self-educate, as in she thrives, she lives for this checklist. As in every day she checks what she's supposed to do. So it looks a lot, but really it's just the same thing over and over. Like for example, for her morning time solo work, it's just different riches. Like, you know, on Monday she does handwriting and piano, on Tuesday she does crafts and art study and Spanish, and then on Wednesdays she does yoga and then copying from her home geography book and typing. On Thursdays she does watercolor and nature journaling, and then on Fridays she would do this one. Or catch up on anything that she wasn't able to do. So there are things that are already lined up for her to do. She just looks at this and then she knows what to do. And then in the afternoon, it's a different thing again. So she kind of self-educates already. And then I just check on the mistakes at the end of the day when I teach her language arts and her kuya does math with her. So those are the daily stuff. Aside from the morning routine we have every 7 a.m. Ayun. So as I was saying, going back, I didn't have to teach this because it was such an easy read for her. And if you're a Charlotte Masoner, it's like the book is talking to you. And when you look at the contents, it's talking about her as a child, and then gives her a perspective of other children around the Philippines. So this flow, so if you look at the outline, it's about I am a unique Filipino child, and then the Filipino family, and then my school. And then she even asked me one time, "Mom, what is my right? What is my right to educate? What does that mean?" So it's a great book so far for us. And then I also got, because I saw that these two books were highly recommended by other homeschoolers. I think other homeschool providers like Homeschool Global uses this as a required material for your students. I got this too. They were pretty pricey. The Vival books are quite pricey, like 700 ata. This one Country, One People, has a similar flow in terms of outline. So, ganun din siya. Like, the table of contents is I am unique, my story, my family, my school, my environment, and I. So, it's also written in English. Okay, the paper, the material is colored. So, the paper is white, the copy is colored, the pictures are colored. So, this is really pretty. We haven't started on this, but based on what I'm seeing so far, if you're the Good and the Beautiful user, I think this will work for you. It's very textbookish, diba? The Good and the Beautiful kind of feels that way too. But yeah, there are stories, but there are also a lot of like busy work involved in it. I like though that if you're a Charlotte Masoner, you can just really read it to your child, and then you already have guidelines on what questions to ask, and your child has that opportunity to play kasi nga it's such a fun book. And in terms of structure, this one gives a perspective of other Filipino children. This one is very focused on your child. Like, she's really going to look at, like, there are examples, like this is the life of the Cruz family, or this one, the timeline of my life. And then, diba, we teach that basically as CMers. So this looks very promising. So what I'll do is I might just alternate them and see which one works better. I'll let you know. Another book that I saw was quite popular is this one, also by Vival, Bagong Filipino tungo sa globalisasyon. Ito naman, it's in Tagalog, kasi very, very, very matatas na Tagalog. So, I'm on the fence if I'm going to use this. But I will try for one lesson. It's open and go. Syempre, it's a textbook. And then if you look at how it's structured, it gives you naman instructions on how to understand each page or how to teach it. In fact, there's also a definition of terms, but even that is written in Tagalog. So for parents who might be struggling speaking or reading Filipino, this might be difficult to teach. If it's difficult to teach, it might be difficult to learn also for your child. But again, there's a caveat there. For example, the first lesson here is Simunting Bibe. Tingnan ang larawan, ano ang tawag dito, buuin ang salita sa tabi nito, sabihin ang nabuong salita. Bibe, diba? The pictures are great, so they're a great take-off point. And then you as a parent, you're just really going to read it. And then there's a chance here, although it's like written in a classroom setting. For example here, gawin. Bumuo ng 3 pangkat sa tulong ng guro, isadula ang kwento. So, if you're homeschooling, you can just change it up and then say, narrate it back to me, or maybe use duck toys and just follow the script. So, I think this will be fun. And then there's a rubric para sa pagsasadula. So, if you use the rubric's grading method, ayan na, you already have a point system here and then guidelines of what to check for. And then there's even like a score sheet here. And then there are worksheets. So I think it's worth a try because it's in Tagalog. So my plan, at least for Ru in the foreseeable future, is that she'll be doing this first for the week, like Mondays. And then, this one I wanted her to do on her own every day, so along with her language arts and math. And then I will be alternating these two because these have stories and parang this focuses on like the kinds of sentences. So, yeah. Kasi nandito yung mga pang-uri, pandiwa, mga ganon, pangungusap, bilang ng pantig, mga ganyan. So if, for example, yeah, grammarly, you want to teach that, I think this is good. But if not, then just a context for who she is or who your child is. This one is also easy to teach. So it's a toss-up between this and this. I have a feeling though that my daughter will enjoy this one because it's colored. But I really like this one. I'm really liking this one. Based on content and the easiness for the child to learn it on her own. So, ayan. So, I hope that helps you, that gives you like an idea on the books that are available locally. And happy homeschooling!